Alright, so now that I've fixed up the wood parts, I can start focusing on the sole and the sides of the plane. And to kind of get a feeling of where it's at right now, I'm going to check it out on my flattening stone and with a straight edge. So this is my flattening stone. It's made especially for flattening and calibration purposes, so I know that it's dead flat. And I'll just take my plane and put it down here. And the first thing I'll do is look for any rocking. And it looks to be pretty flat. So next I'll take my feeler gauge. And this is the thinnest one I have. It's 0.05 millimeters or 0.002 inches. And I'll just go along the entire edge and see if it passes under the sole anywhere. And this looks to be pretty flat, so I'm going to check out the other side. And that's looking pretty good actually. So now I'm going to do the same thing but with a straight edge. So basically the sole looks to be dead flat. I really don't think I have to do a lot of flattening here. So I'm just gonna touch it up a little bit and polish it up. So now I'm gonna do exactly the same thing on the sides. And as you can hear, it's not very flat on this side. So I'm also gonna check it out with my feeler gauge. Yeah, and there seems to be a huge gap on this side here. So I am going to have to do some work on that side. Now the other side doesn't rock at all. Yeah, and this seems to be in pretty good shape. So I think this will be the only side I really have to work on. And other than that, it's in really good shape actually. So last but not least, I'm going to take a square and just check out the squareness of these edges here. And that seems to be perfect. So that's a good thing. Alright, so next up I'm going to start working on the sole and the sides. Alright, so I have attached some 180 grit sandpaper onto my flattening stone, and I'm just going to be working up the grits until I have a result that I'm happy with. Now a lot of people will say that you have to lock the blade down when you start flattening the sole because the sole changes shape when you do. Well, you know, I own a lot of planes. They're all quality planes, and I've actually measured this, but I have never seen this behavior in any of my planes. So I just do all of my flattening without the blade installed. I'm going to do the same thing for this one, and I've also always had good results that way. So here we go. So the sides are coming along nicely, and while I'm at it, I'm going to touch up these edges a little bit as well. So now that I'm working on the sole and the sides, I'm also going to take care of the frog and make sure that it's all flat as well. Alright, so the frog is actually far from flat. You can see the high spots here. So this is going to need a little bit more work to get it completely flat. Alright, so I've been working on the frog for about 20 minutes now, and it's almost completely flat. There's quite a big dip in this area right here, which is pretty common on this frog design. I could try to level it completely, but I'd have to take away a lot of metal here, and I don't really want to do that. As it is, the blade is touching pretty much the entire surface of the frog, so I'm going to leave it at this and continue working on the sole and the sides of the plane. Alright, so I've been going at it for about 2 hours now, and things are looking pretty good. There was a pretty big hump here on this edge, and that's completely gone now. Things are looking pretty smooth. There's still a little bit of pitting here and there, but I'm not too worried about that. If I wanted to get rid of that, I'd have to remove a lot of material, and I don't really want to do that. I just checked it out with my straight edge, and it's completely flat on all sides. So now I'm just going to be moving up the grits and get it as smooth as I can. Alright, so I just finished wet sanding on the 800 grit, and I think I'm about done here, so I'm going to clean this up and show you what it looks like. Alright, so here it is. It's now completely flat on all 3 sides. There's just a little bit of pitting left, but like I said, I don't want to remove too much metal, and it's not going to affect the performance in any way. Other than that, it's nice and smooth, and it's ready to be used again. So next order of business is cleaning my hands, and in part 5 I'll be sharpening the blade. Thanks for watching.